Hello, everyone. I know I had promised to have a review up of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein this week. Instead, I had posted a review, if you like, of my two cats, Riley and Layla, that I shot back in February. Mainly because, well, surprise, surprise, I haven't finished the book yet. It's just that I've been very busy, more busy than I would care to admit, with larger life things that I do not necessarily want to discuss on this channel, but nonetheless, it has taken time away from reading, and I hope it's not taking time away from writing, because above all, that is the most important thing to me at this stage. But I'm about 2/3 into this book, and hopefully by next week I should have a review up for you. But I thought I may as well get this thought out before my eventual review, because I found it interesting. So, in a stream conducted by Josephine yesterday, Ahab had sat in on it, and we were basically discussing how I was going with Frankenstein, and I had basically said that everything that I have ever enjoyed and read in my existence seems somehow to have stemmed from this work. And he seemed to agree with me, in a sense, because obviously it's supremely influential, and it's written in a similar style to quite a lot of the stuff that I enjoy reading. In fact, I can tell you, this was written about the same time, or maybe just a little bit before, most of Edgar Allan Poe's stories. And the difference between Shelley's verbosity and Poe's verbosity is that I actually enjoy reading Shelley. I'm sorry to say that, but it's just that I can read her consistently, and she actually inspires me to write on my own after having completed a chapter, whereas Poe just basically throws me off of reading altogether. And I'm going to say right now, I have for now put a halt on my Poe and Lovecraft reading project, because once I got to the 30-page Hans Fowl, I was pretty much through. I said, I cannot sit through 30 pages of Poe. It's probably, it may well be the greatest thing ever, but still, at the same time, I don't want to risk it. But nonetheless, this video is not about Poe, it's about Mary Shelley, but nonetheless, one of the other things that I had mentioned to Ahab is that a lot of the sentences in this book could very well have been written by me. I swear that at some point or other in my career, I have written maybe a third of what's in this book. It's quite absurd, but at the same time, very comforting to know that I may well be carrying on an old tradition, but nonetheless, there's a passage that that I read in this, which was very similar to my own in a work that I'm currently engaged with, and I'm going to read both that passage from Frankenstein and the passage from my own work, and I'm going to let you determine which is which. And basically see for yourselves just how miraculous this all is. So, I'll let you decide who wrote what, and make your own opinion on the matter, I suppose, when the time comes. So here's the first passage. My mother was dead, but we had still duties which we ought to perform. We must continue our course with the rest, and learn to think ourselves fortunate whilst one remains whom the spoiler has not seized. So that's the first passage. Now on to the second passage. My father was dead, gone to heaven, or wherever he might come to find himself, and that was that. Nothing more could be done about it. I had prayed for his deliverance, whereas it appeared my mother and brother anticipated his glorification. The world, as I saw it, had known no crueler victory. Whether I was to become a man of faith, or even so nasty a creature as a spiritualist, I could not then determine, yet that valiant deed demanded to be accentuated. My curse of God, declaring him a red Indian, would surely deny me of all heavenly rewards were I to willingly accept Jesus Christ. And though I bandied about denouncing the great Saurians in my initial plea to him, there may be nothing for me beyond confused divinity upon which lay the foundation of belief. So, basically, it is very staggering to know that Mary Shelley, at 18, had written a work of such great merit, but was also just so similar to my own writing. And it's certainly better than anything I ever wrote at 18, and it is also on par with most of what I'm writing now at 23. And this may well be now one of my favorite books. I know that I recently remade my favorite novels list a few months back, and I said I wouldn't have to remake it. I may well need to, because this book is at least number 3 or 4 on my list, and I'm not even finished with the thing, purely for the fact that it was so influential, and it seems really the fount of all of my literary capabilities and influence. So that's all I have to say on this particular matter.